Capital of the United States, as we welcome you to Devon Park, home of the Women's College World Series and home tonight of the 180th Bedlam game between number 1 OU and number 21 Oklahoma State. Hi again, everybody. Matt Schumacher alongside the former All-American Amanda Scarborough with you. Pumped to bring you this highly competitive, highly touted college rivalry, one of the best and richest in the history of our sport, Amanda, and we get it in late April.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you have an in-state rivalry, it really just hits different. I mean, you don't know what to expect and how this is going to end, but you played on this field in front of 9,000 fans, home of the Women's College World Series. I mean, it really doesn't get much better than this, and great that these two teams, even though in different conferences, are still making this rivalry happen.
Oklahoma State has to contend tonight with one of the top offenses, not only this year, but in the history of the sport. It has already been a record-setting year for Oklahoma and their bats.
This Oklahoma offense might be the best ever when the season is completely done. Right now, they're at the top of the ranks in D1 in over 10 different categories. You name a category, Oklahoma as a team will be at the top. And they're not just at the top right now. They're looking to make their way into the record books for D1, a single-season best in home runs, on-base percentage, and slugging. And then as a team, that was a record book. But Kendall Wells, the freshman, is on pace to set the single-season home run record, chasing Laura Espinoza with 37 home runs. The freshman in Kendall Wells right now sits at 31. We're just in mid-April. Oklahoma as a team has hit a gaudy 150 home runs. They're chasing 161.
Tonight they will take on the two-time All-American in the circle, Ruby Malin, who has been the workhorse of all workhorses this year. Amanda leads Power 4 with 148 2/3 innings pitched.
Yeah, this is a really exciting matchup for Ruby Malin to go against this Oklahoma offense. A senior, an All-American, a fearless leader for Oklahoma State in the circle. When she is on, Ruby Malin is a type of pitcher that can beat any offense in the country.
Malin has won her last 10 decisions. Her 17 victories this year lead the Big 12, and our head coach Kenny Gajewski told us they will need the sharpest of sharp tonight from Ruby Malin against what he deemed the best offense he has ever seen in his long career as a softball coach. And the first pitch misses upstairs to Kai Miner. Really, Amanda, you could highlight any one of Oklahoma's batters in their starting lineup, but we will highlight Kendall Wells, who has already broken the SEC home run record and the Oklahoma freshman single-season home run record. And she did it in less than 40 games. Such an impressive start to her young career at Oklahoma. 2-0 to Kai Miner.
It's going to be up to Ruby Malin to attack the strike zone early against an Oklahoma offense that not only has power, but they have patience. Already the freshman and Kai Miner seeing 3 balls in a row in front of this big crowd.
Miner, one of a handful of freshmen that Patty Gasso brought in this year, a freshman class that has not sat on the bench. They have been thrown right into the fire, and they have delivered. As dynamic a young group as she has coached in her illustrious Oklahoma head coaching career.
Well, remember, they were really young last year. After graduating a senior class and won those 4 national championships in a row, they had to reload somehow, and they reloaded with a lot of youth last year and a great freshman class this year, of course, led by Kendall Wells.
Miner goes down swinging. Ruby Malin battling back after she got down 2-0.
That's a big deal that Ruby Malin just battled back from a 3-0 count, got herself back into the count with a strike, and then ended up striking Miner out on a rise ball, a pitch that Ruby Malin has really been leaning on more in her senior year. In the month of March and April, she's going to throw hard. She's going to throw 67 to 70 miles an hour. Her go-to pitch is her drop ball. Induces a lot of ground balls because of that drop ball, but is her rise ball and doubling the use of her changeup this year in her senior season. It has helped her give a different look to these hitters that already know her drop balls so well. And a changeup and throwing it at 3% in years past, but throwing it at 6% this year. That might not seem like a lot, but going from 3 to 6 and doubling the use, putting it in the back of the hitters' minds, only makes her drop ball that much better, and it only makes her rise ball that much better too. She'll split the zone vertically with her drop and her rise. Remember, the rise ball got Minor out with the K.
Now 149 strikeouts this year for Malin. That's top 15 in the country. And we'll take on Ella Parker with one down and the base is clear.
And that is the changeup. When you face Oklahoma's offense, it's not, is my changeup going to work tonight? It's mandatory that your changeup works against an Oklahoma offense if you want to have any shot at beating them.
Lead the nation in 11 offensive categories. On pace to break multiple program records. 1 through 9, there are no breaks against the Sooners this year.
Well, in Oklahoma State, shifting their defense big time toward the pull side with Ella Parker up. You see that there's 3 infielders on the right side, and then you have Rosie Davis, who's playing third base, basically playing shortstop. Or actually, I guess everybody's shifted off too. It's hard to tell when we're so far up. Let's see. Stat Broadcast doesn't give us where the 3 infielders are in their alignment, but
can't keep up.
You can't keep up. It looks like Rosie Davis, who actually is playing third base, is now playing toward the right side of second base.
Meanwhile, Malin working on back-to-back strikeouts. Misses wide and another full count to start her outing against Oklahoma, who she has plenty of experience against in her career, including right here in Devon Park a season ago. Excellent start in 2026. That's back-to-back Ks for the 2-time All-American.
They're going upstairs with a little low rise here against Parker, and Ruby Malin is feeling it. But this rise ball that Ruby Malin can throw at multiple levels, I think that maybe OU is expecting. Down, she's going up. That's why that rise ball and her using it more in March and April can make it even more effective. She can go against the scouting report and use her rise more.
And maybe all the more important, especially this year for Ruby Malin, who's pitched over 60% of her team's innings pitched. Opponents have seen a lot of Ruby Malin this year.
Another check swing there to Kendall Wells, getting hurt chasing that rise ball, the first pitch of the AB. Little check swing there. If you see a home run hitter like Kendall Wells guessing and chasing like that as a pitcher, that's exactly what you want to see.
Such an imposing figure in the box as just a freshman. Stands at 5'10", out of Bogart, Georgia. 31 of her 50 hits this year have left the yard. Chasing records still after already breaking the SEC single season home run record and taking down the Oklahoma freshman record in just 37 games. And yet you'd never know it from her demeanor that she's chasing history. Patty Gasso has been so impressed with her humility, Amanda, but also her ability to just lock in from at bat to at bat.
Yeah, she stays so calm, so confident. We have seen her chase a little bit as any freshman would here and there, especially a rise ball and also low and away with a drop ball. But a good take there. And you're going to see pitchers like Ruby Malin and others as we move on. And Oklahoma will play Arkansas this weekend and finish out their SEC season. You're going to see hitters attack her low and out with the drop ball. That is where she's been a little bit vulnerable, is the outside corner, as well as chasing up in the zone with the rise.
Misses inside and a walk with 2 outs for Kendall Wells. So that will give way to Gabby Garcia in the 4 spot. Oklahoma's starting shortstop will come to the plate with a runner on in the top of the first. Reigning third-team All-American as a freshman. Garcia, one of 5 returning All-Americans this year for Oklahoma. Rolls it over to the right side, and it gets into right field. Wells taking a wide turn at second base, will stay put. And now 2 on with 2 out after this single by Garcia. And we welcome those of you joining us on ESPN2 after Duke took down Tennessee 6-3. Matt Schumacher, the former All-American, Amanda Scarborough with you from Devon Park, the softball capital of the world, for the 180th Bedlam meeting between Oklahoma and Oklahoma State. And if you are just joining us, Ruby Malin, the 2-time All-American in the circle for Oklahoma State, struck out the first 2 batters. Walked Kendall Wells and gave up a 2-out single to Gabby Garcia. Now Lexi McDaniel with a chance to do some damage here with 2 outs.
And you can tell that Lexi McDaniel, learning from Miner and Parker, who struck out on the rise ball and chased that pitch. A good take there by the freshman with the runner in scoring position, trying to put Oklahoma on top. These 2 outs. And she goes down with the drop ball. And that's what Ruby Malin is going to do. She throws with very good velocity, 67 to 70 miles an hour, known for her drop ball. But what's been so effective in March and April and so far in this game is the rise ball. And seeing if these Oklahoma hitters will chase that pitch. Looking for it now with 2 strikes.
Just missed with the 24th pitch of the inning for Ruby Malin. The winningest pitcher in the Big 12 this year has won her last 10 decisions. 2-2. Gets a strikeout of McDaniel. Strikes out the side in the opening inning against the #1 Sooners.
The rise ball is working for the senior, the All-American. She has to have it against this Oklahoma offense and her changeup too. But all 3 strikeouts on the rise ball. She's working it at multiple levels. That's a great start for Malin in the circle for Oklahoma State.
Gorgeous night at Devon Park here in Oklahoma City for the 180th Bedlam meeting between Oklahoma and Oklahoma State. Hi again, everybody. Matt Schumacher, the All-American, Amanda Scarborough with you. The longest played Power 4 rivalry in the history of this sport. We get it with a whole lot of meaning at the end of April.
Yeah, and in this stadium, home of the Women's College World Series, we're expecting over 9,000 fans, an in-state rivalry. I mean, really nothing beats this, and beautiful sunset to go along with it. Interested to see how this one plays out and how Ruby Mailing continues to handle that nasty Oklahoma offense.
And on the flip side, getting her first Bedlam experience, Miley Wachenio transferring in from Ole Miss after she helped the Rebels reach Devon Park and OKC for the first time in program history a year ago.
Yeah, so she's pitched here on this field before, just with a different team.
It's a strike on the outside corner to Claire Tim.
Well, and you were wondering, who was Oklahoma going to start in this game tonight? They have a lot of options. They have a big series this weekend against Arkansas. Oklahoma State has a big series this weekend against Arizona. There were decisions to be made for both head coaches tonight. And Patty Gasso opting to go with Miley Wachenio.
Such a deep pitching staff this year for Oklahoma. Meanwhile, Oklahoma State, their offensive numbers haven't quite been what they anticipated, what Kenny Gajewski anticipated, yet they've averaged over 6.5 runs per game. And Amanda, if the season ended today, that would be a program record. And Kenny told us very candidly, which is, by the way, not out of the ordinary for him, he has no idea how they are putting up those kinds of runs because the rest of their numbers haven't really trended in that direction.
Yeah, that stat surprised me. I think it would surprise a lot of people because it just doesn't feel like that would be so. And I think it's more so because of the past offenses that Kenny Gajewski has put together. You know, it's more about respect of the past offenses since he's taken over the Oklahoma State program and how it just seems like at times they've been overwhelming and scoring a bunch of runs to get here to the Women's College World Series.
Tim pop up left side foul territory and out of the glove of Gabby Garcia. 2-2 to Tim.
It was a tough one for Gabby Garcia to track down over at shortstop. She's one of the best shortstops in the country, and it seemed like Dayton had to come a long way from that or for that out in left field, and Garcia was under it. You could tell she's kind of kicking herself, thinking that that should have been an out, but instead it's Tim with another opportunity.
Has been terrific this year. Moved up to the leadoff spot because of her ability to get on base. And really this year, Kenny Gajewski's offense has been a bit of a jigsaw puzzle. He's moved pieces around sporadically, trying to find that right combination and get back to the Women's College World Series, where they missed out last year for the first time in 5 seasons. Off the nub of the bat, bounces off the bag and foul.
Yeah, important to note, it bounced off of the new safety bag that we have. So even though it did hit a bag, if that was hitting the white bag, it would be a fair ball, but it hit the orange bag, the safety bag, so it's going to be a foul ball. And the entire ball was foul when it hit it.
Kenny Gajewski's team has won 10 of their last 12 games, including 3 straight Big 12 series. Feels like his team is starting to develop an identity late in April. And a chance here tonight to do something that not many teams have done this year, and that is beat Oklahoma. They have just 4 losses. One of those coming in their last game on a walk-off defeat in extra innings at the hands of the Texas Longhorns. And Claire Tim draws a leadoff walk.
What a great at-bat by Claire Tim against Wachenio. Just saw a little bit of everything, which Miley Wachenio is going to throw in the upper 60s. She'll throw her rise ball a lot. She wants you to chase her rise ball up and out of the zone. She'll also mix in a screwball, a curveball, little east-west mix there. But she has a plus-plus changeup. She can throw it in any count, very confident in that change.
Carly Godwin swinging at the first pitch. She too has been moved up in the Oklahoma State lineup to the 2-hole. A lot of change for her this year. Began the season as a starting first baseman. Slid over to second base and has handled the change well. To short. Garcia flips to Agbayani and dug out by Lexi McDaniel for a double play.
It's a great way to come back by Miley Wichenio. After the walk, got right ahead on Godwin and then threw an off-speed pitch that Godwin was out in front of to easily let her great defense up the middle of the field turn that double play. You got Garcia at shortstop, Agbayani, a Gold Glover at second base. I just think that Gabby Garcia, sophomore at shortstop, it's just a matter of time before she also has a Gold Glove. This Oklahoma defense often gets overshadowed by the offense, but when the pitchers need it, it steps up.
0-1 to Rosie Davis. Patty Gasso, the legendary Oklahoma head coach, told us today when we chatted with her, she feels like her defense is so locked in and it's trended alongside the continued refinement of this pitching staff, which welcomed in a couple of newcomers this year, including Wichenio.
If you're a pitcher for Oklahoma, you just have to enter into the circle feeling so confident. Your offense is going to score you over 10 runs a game. Your defense is one of the best in the country. You get to go in and feel so confident, even in a big environment like this.
We have seen a changing of the guard over the last couple of seasons for Oklahoma. Of course, they won the unprecedented 4 national championships in a row. But this is a new team setting a new legacy.
And Miley Wichenio for SEC series has really been the game 2 starter. So she was who I thought might start tonight, knowing that she wouldn't pitch again until Saturday for the series this weekend against Arkansas in game 2. Audrey Lowry, the lefty for them, the sophomore, has just really kind of blossomed into the ace of the staff. So she's been the game 1 starter in SEC series and then kind of at a as-needed basis for the rest of the series, really comfortable in relief. But thought that Audrey Lowry, they might save her for Friday against a very good Arkansas team.
Swing and a miss, strike 3, and Wichenio sets down the side. 1-2-3 with a strikeout of Davis.
one of the best rivalries in all of college sports. This is Bedlam.
Bedlam is crazy.
You're fighting for your school.
It's going to be a dogfight till the end.
That stadium being full on a midweek, it's crazy.
It's honestly one of the best things I ever get to be a part of.
It's just a really big win for women's sports.
It's also bragging rights.
It's a rivalry that still, despite the fact that these programs are no longer in the same conference, has so much meaning, Amanda, to the programs, to the fan bases, and to the state of Oklahoma. And Ruby Malin pitched in the Bedlam game last year, helped Oklahoma State jump out to a 3-2 lead through the first few innings before getting tagged for 5 runs in the 4th. And that really opened up the game for the Sooners. Ended up winning last year by run rule. But early, it was the Cowgirls that jumped out on Oklahoma.
Yeah, I remember watching that game and thinking, man, it was all Oklahoma State early. And then there was just one inning in particular that Ruby Malin went out and gave up a crooked number. And then it was just all Oklahoma for the rest.
She has looked calm and confident to start. Struck out the side in the opening inning. Now taking on Cassidy Pickering here to start the second.
It's kind of starting to seem for Oklahoma State, it's Ruby Malin or bust. And I'm really interested to see for the rest of April and then into the postseason in May, does she stay sharp? How much are they going to continue to use her? As right now, she is number 6 in the country in number of innings pitched. We're talking ranked out of over 1,700 pitchers. She's thrown the 6th most. So sitting at just over 150 innings pitched, over 60% of the team's innings are just really relying on her. 17-6 record, 148 strikeouts, and the rest of the team, they're just kind of trying to piecemeal it day by day, series by series with how they're going to approach it.
Off the glove at third of Rosie Davis and a leadoff single for Pickering. It's a well-struck ball by the Sooners starting third baseman to open up the second.
Yeah, great job with just handling that outside drop ball. And this is just such a good piece of hitting. Rosie Davis is playing a little bit off the third base line, so she was actually positioned in a position to be able to make that play, but hit off of her glove, high exit velocity for Pickering, being able to handle that outside drop ball.
Corner infield drawn in for Agbayani. Foul on the bunt attempt. Boy, what an addition she was last year out of the transfer portal for Patty Gasso. You referenced it, a Gold Glove winner, moving from shortstop to second base last year. Had been a tremendous shortstop at the University of Hawaii, an all-conference player, a defensive player of the year type. But as we've seen so often with this program, Amanda willingly and humbly moved positions for the betterment of the team.
And she has good speed, puts together quality at bats right there toward the bottom of the order, 7, 8, 9, where Oklahoma can beat you in different ways, and that explosive power, although they have home run hitters all throughout their lineup with the 150 home runs that they've hit this season. But down toward the bottom, a little bit more speed and lefty related.
And she goes down swinging, the 4th strikeout tonight for Malin.
And all 4 have been on her rise ball. It has been very effective because she has been able to throw it at multiple different levels, getting a lot of Oklahoma chases. Usually you do not see Oklahoma's hitters chase this rise ball this much out of the zone. But I think when you prepare for Ruby Malin, you're preparing for her hard drop ball down. Now early in this game, she's going with her rise ball lower through the zone at multiple levels, and it's just really getting them to chase.
Barker drops down a bunt. Malin fielding her position makes the play as Pickering moves into scoring position. Abby Dayton batting in the 9 spot while hitting .448 with 6 homers and 35 runs batted in. A microcosm of how dangerous the Sooners are this year.
Well, remember how loud this stadium got at the Women's College World Series and her home run against Nyjah Kennedy that came late in the game, tied up the game. He thought Oklahoma was out of it, but then Abby Dayton in the 9-hole hit that home run, and I've never heard this stadium, this field be louder. Think about it, that was the last time she set foot into this box, was hitting that home run off of Nyjah Kennedy.
Second-year transfer from Utah. Came to the World Series with the Utes, and then again last year in her first season with Oklahoma. And Patty Gasso told us she has become that one. The voice in the dugout, the energy giver for this uber-talented Sooners lineup. Two from Malin with a runner in scoring position and 2 down.
Yeah, she just has so much experience. I mean, even sitting down in the 9-hole, Abby Dayton has 6 home runs. I mean, 7, 8, 9, 6 home runs, 5 home runs, 6 home runs. This Oklahoma offense has power everywhere.
Dayton, a hopper to second and fielded by Godwin. Malin cruising through 2 innings. No score in Oklahoma City. On Wednesday last week, the Oklahoma State softball team was traveling to Wichita State when they were involved in a fatal accident involving a pedestrian. The accident really shook up this program, players and staff included. They're all still working through the aftermath of this tragedy, but grateful to be healthy and playing softball again as they rely, Amanda, on the tremendous leadership of Kenny Gajewski.
Yeah, it's very challenging, traumatic, and Kenny Gajewski said this is just not in the coaching handbook for how to handle it. It's day to day with how they're feeling, but he said, you know, we're okay. It's just going to be a part of our journey this year, but just such a traumatic event all around.
Lexi McDonald, first pitch swinging, flares it into left field, thinking extra bases. And she cruises in with a leadoff stand-up double.
Yeah, and Lexi McDonald has just worked her way into this lineup, started taking great ABs in practice. Coaches took note. They knew she wanted to get into the lineup, and that pitch was about a ball off the plate. She just went up looking for something on the outer half, saw it, put a good swing on it, and found the line. And she just fired up the rest of this Cowgirl team with that leadoff double, first pitch off of Wachenio. Nice swing.
Libby Jacques is going to come in and pinch run at second base as Amanda Hassler comes to the plate. Has hit in 10 of her last 11 games, which included a 9-game hit streak snapped over the weekend at Iowa State. One of the big pieces that Kenny Gajewski referenced as needing to step up as we get into May, and she has done that over the last 2 weeks of the season.
And she just has that big home run potential right there in the middle of the order for Oklahoma State with 10 and 44 RBIs. This is somebody that transferred into the program who Kenny Gajewski said last year just has unlimited potential. It was a bit of a transition coming in at first to a small town like Stillwater, but felt like she was such a good fit into this program, and she has big time pop in her swing.
Pops the 0-2 from Wachenio out of play. Really this year returning to some of that pop and power that she became known for at NC State. Had 18 home runs 2 years ago for the Wolfpack. This year already 10 home runs when she had just 11 in her first season with the Cowgirls. 0-2. Goes after it, second strikeout of the night for Wachenio.
Wachenio has been really good in both innings. The leadoff has gotten on, but then the next hitter after that hitter reached, she goes right at the next one and gets ahead 0-2. Uses a little curveball with some rise ball action there to get Hassler chasing out of the zone with a runner in scoring position. That's the mindset that you want to see out of a pitcher like Wachenio. Give up that leadoff double and then go right at the next hitter.
Tia Warsop, the junior from Northampton, England, batting in the 6th hole for Oklahoma State. That's really something Wachenio has become known for. Still early in her young career, just a sophomore, but you think back, Amanda, to a couple of SEC series ago. Gave up a home run on the 4th pitch of the game at Kentucky. Set down the next 9 Wildcat batters. They love her grit and resilience. Gets a pop-up in foul territory. Diving play by Garcia. Couldn't quite glove it, but she is a magnet for the ball.
I was hoping with her sliding in to the camera well that she was going to be okay. So happy to see her get up, going hard after that foul ball. She was challenged with one earlier in the first inning that probably should have been caught when you look back at it, but was deeper down the left field line.
Wachenio has been so strong in her last 2 starts, both against Kentucky and Texas. Just 3 earned runs in 10 innings pitched, including 6 innings in a 4-3 win against the Longhorns this past weekend. Been a busy rivalry week for Oklahoma. 2-2 from Wachenio.
You know, Coach Gasso said about Wachenio that she came in a little uncertain and scared and quiet, but then quickly actually became friends with Kendall Wells back behind the plate. And when that friendship kind of blossomed and formed, it changed everything in a great way as Wachenio started to get more comfortable. Kendall Wells back behind the plate, just a freshman, but a leader on this team and kind of known as the life of the party for the Sooners team.
Foul tipped.
And nothing's better than having somebody catch you who you just have that great relationship with and trust, and getting to have a battery like this with Wachenio in the circle, Wells catching her back behind the plate, and thinking about too how young they are and how long Oklahoma is going to get to have this battery as Wachenio just continues to grow on what she did in Ole Miss last year.
Kendall Wells is really a rare breed in many ways. The way she has come in and humbly led this team as a true freshman. You don't see that every day, Amanda.
You don't. I'm not just with the home run numbers, but the way that she just keeps everybody loose and everybody wants to be around her.
Warsop into the gap in right center and down for a base hit. It will score McDonald, and the Cowgirls are on the board first in OKC.
What an incredible at-bat by Tia Warsop. Just continue to foul off pitches. Wachenio went at her just like she did Hassler, the batter ahead of her. She got down 0-2, fought off some pitches, and then gets a curveball in on her hands and is able to put a good barrel to it and drive it to that right center field gap. The infield was playing in. She had shown slap. She's known for her speed, can lay down a bunt. Of course, she wouldn't with 2 strikes, but was going more to her short game with 2 strikes, slapping, getting rid of some pitches. That is a big swing by Warsop to put Oklahoma State on the board first and finally capitalize with a runner on.
Warsop's 5th double of the year, allowing Oklahoma State to score first, as they have now done in 28 of their 39 games this year. And to your point about that at bat by Tia Warsop, 9 pitches. Kept fouling off and fighting Wachenio to get the pitch she wanted.
Yeah, Wachenio wanted her to chase some pitches within that at-bat too. So not only did she foul off some pitches, she took some pitches that Wachenio wanted her to chase. Just an all-around fantastic at-bat by Tia Warsop. And, you know, looking at Miley Wachenio's splits, left-handed hitters hit about 90 points higher off of her than righties, and both of the hits in this inning, McDonald and Warsop, have been from left-handed bats, but lefties hitting 259 off of her and righties hitting just 174.
And both hits well-struck doubles in the inning for the Cowgirls. So after the visit to the mound, Audrey Schneidmiller digs in for Oklahoma State. Still just the 1 out. And a runner in scoring position again for Oklahoma State. Oh, 2. Schneidmiller, such a important piece to this team over the years, though this year, for really the first time in her career, has started the majority of the games. Primarily been used earlier in her career as a rotational catcher, pinch hitter, bench piece for Kenny Gajewski's team, including the 2023 squad that made it here to the Women's College World Series. Has a chance to do damage again here in the bottom of the second with a runner in scoring position.
What a take. the pitch that Uchenio and a lot of these fans want. That curveball right at the knees, but it's just a great take to be able to hold her barrel back right at the last second and say, nope, that's a ball. Some tough ABs once Uchenio got ahead 0-2 these last couple of hitters.
Schneidmiller to second base, fielded by Agbayani, and the BYU transfer gets it over to first. Warsop, though, does move up to third with 2 down here in the bottom of the second. Well, the NCAA Gymnastics Championship semifinals are once again on ESPN2. The first rotation is tomorrow, 4:30 Eastern. It includes LSU, Florida, Georgia, and Stanford. Second rotation, including Oklahoma, begins at 9 Eastern. And now the talented freshman, Aubrey Jones. Former Michigan Gatorade Player of the Year.
Something that Oklahoma State has done so well in this second inning is not chase, but of course a freshman coming up with a runner, third base, her first Bedlam to compete in. Plays right into the hands of that Uchenio rise ball, chasing that first pitch and just kind of helping Uchenio build confidence in the circle, even just with that one chase.
1-2.
This is a difference maker if Uchenio is able to put a hitter away in this inning once she got ahead to a pitcher's count like this, something that has taken her some extra pitches to do, as Oklahoma State has seen a lot of pitches in this second inning.
Uchenio up over 40 on the night. Jones, the reigning Big 12 Freshman of the Week, after going 6 for 8 in a series win against Iowa State over the weekend. Trying to drive in an extra run with Warsop at third base. 2-2 from Uchenio. Gets her with a strikeout upstairs. Third strikeout of the game to get out of the inning. 1-0 lead for Oklahoma State after 2. Lots of Bedlam royalty in the house tonight, including Kinsey Hansen, an Oklahoma star now in the AUSL, will join us next. Kinsey Hansen, an Oklahoma legend, won 4 straight national championships, was the Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year, and the Johnny Bench Award winner as a senior, now playing for the OKC Spark in the AUSL. And now joining us in the booth here at Devon Park, Matt Schumacher, Amanda Scarborough, and Kinsey. Appreciate you joining us.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me.
How about this Oklahoma offense that we're witnessing this year? I mean, what a ridiculous season it's been for your alma mater so far.
Yes, they are just so dominant, and I love the way that they're approaching their at-bats, making their adjustments so quickly, and they're having fun while doing it. So being able to see that as an outsider now is just tremendous.
Yeah, and you had a really big day today in Oklahoma City as we kind of welcomed in the Oklahoma City Spark.
Fly ball to left, off the glove of Tia Warsop. And it's a three-bagger to start the inning for Oklahoma and Kai Miner. Speaking of the Sooners offense.
Warsop looked like she had a chance to catch that. I mean, right there, hitting off of her glove, trying to track it down. Just big-time power from Miner early in the count that I think it caught everybody on their heels. Kai Miner is such a great athlete. Not only does she have that speed, she has a little bit of pop. And the second time through the order, Oklahoma already showing that they're going to make adjustments against Malin as they see her second time through.
Ella Parker comes up with nobody out. A chance to tie or take the lead.
Okay, so today was a massive day for Oklahoma City Spark, going around and kind of making rounds on news channels and kind of introducing Oklahoma City as an expansion team in the AUSL. The Spark, their first season will be this season. How did it go today?
Yeah, absolutely. It went really great. We got to go on air with Robin Marsh and kind of talk about the expansion here in OKC and just how capitalizing on this market has been so great for the league, especially that Oklahoma City is the capital of softball right now. I mean, we can draw so many fans. So being able to, like I said, capitalize on the audience that we have here is going to not only benefit us as a team, but the league in general.
Yeah, and this is going to be your first year playing in the AUSL. What have you noticed? I mean, last season was the first season for the AUSL traditional season, and this year will be the second. You're first to play in it. What was it about AUSL that you wanted to be involved and like, what was it like to see the league from the outside looking in?
Definitely the competition. I think all but a few players in the USA pool right now are all playing in the AUSL league. So being able to see world-class competition every single day on the field not only is going to be great for the crowd, but it's going to make us better athletes. And I think that just, especially with the Olympics coming up, being able to get better every single day with that competition is definitely drew me in. I love that good competition.
This is a really historic time for the sport of softball. We're going to talk about it a little bit later on in the broadcast, but the viewership, we're breaking records at all levels. Little League, college, AUSL. Do you feel that as a player, the historic run that this sport is on right now?
Yes, absolutely. I remember my freshman year in COVID, we barely could sell out the Marita Hines Field too often. But now, I mean, my senior year, we sold out Love's Field every single game we played. And then now there's millions of people watching softball every single day. I mean, Oklahoma and LSU, a couple weekends ago, there was a ton of people watching those just regular season games. So being able to see the growth of the sport, not only in other teams, but just from what I've seen firsthand, I mean, it's been incredible to be a part of.
Ruby Malin gets her 5th strikeout after giving up a leadoff three-bagger to Kai Miner, one down in the 3rd.
And so you mentioned, world-class competition, and there are a lot of players playing in the AUSL that competed in this Bedlam game from Oklahoma State and Oklahoma. I mean, the list just goes on and on. Isn't that cool to see so many players from this game and from your alma mater competing in the AUSL?
Yes, it is so fun. There's just, like we said, such great competition, but you also create those relationships. I mean, I like to say that we all grow up into womanhood when we're in college, so being able to see players that you played with, since I was 17 years old, and now I'm going on 25 playing against the same athletes that I've played with since then. So I think that's one of the fun parts about it as well.
1-0 count to Kendall Wells. One down and the tying run at third base here in the top of the 3rd. You were a great hitter, also a great catcher. Kendall Wells trying to follow in your footsteps here at Oklahoma. What impresses you about her 40 games into her career as a Sooner?
I mean, we could talk about her bat all day long, but I really enjoy watching her composure, not only at the, oh my gosh.
Line drive right field. Goodbye, Kendall Wells. Thank you very much 32nd home run of the year gives the Sooners the lead.
Just an animal.
Right on cue.
Yeah.
And Kendall Wells knows what Ruby Mayland wants to do against her. She wants to throw her a drop ball in the outside corner, and she goes up looking for it. This is how Kendall Wells has been being pitched in SEC play in March and already in April. This is how teams are going to likely continue to pitch her, but her opposite field power strength. It's not just the pull side. It's not just up the middle of the field where she can hit it 304 feet to dead center, but that swing, a line drive on a pitch that she knows it's tough to handle, that was extremely impressive. My goodness.
Matt Schumacher, Amanda Scarborough, Kinsey Hansen with you. You were saying we could talk about Kendall Wells' bat all day long, but you're impressed by her composure.
Yes, absolutely. Not only at the plate, but behind the plate as well. I think the way that she approaches the game and the way that she approaches that battery aspect of it, it shows like veteran experience a little bit, and I think that just goes to show what they're doing in that dugout. I mean, I could give credit to Coach Gasso and JT and Coach Rocha all day long. They obviously know how to develop players, and I think that one that they have behind the plate is very special.
Okay, but what we really want to know is what Coach Gasso is like to play for. I mean, and not the cliche is she's great, she pushes us hard, but what's she really like to play for?
Yeah, she's pretty hardcore. I mean, as you would imagine. But for me specifically, that's something that I respond really well to, as do many of these players on this team. So she has that hardcore aspect to her, but she treats you like her own daughter, and she can also, once you step off that dirt, she is fun-loving, and I think she's kind of funny, actually. But she hosts dinners at her house all the time for the team, and it's a very family environment, and that's the culture that she kind of creates with the team, and that's honestly why I wanted to play for her in the first place. So she knows how to turn it on and off, which is what I love about her.
Bouncing ball to short, snared by Aubrey Jones. That'll do it for the third as Kendall Wells gives Oklahoma a 2-1 lead. We thank Kinsey Hansen for joining us, and good luck in the 2026 AUSL season.
Thank you.
It's home run number 32 for Kendall Wells as Oklahoma just punches right back. The freshman with a laser over that right field wall.
On ESPN, 40-plus NCAA championships. Confetti rains. Nets are cut. Joy erupts. Hardware is hoisted. History happens here on ESPN, home of NCAA championships.
And welcome back to the home of the Women's College World Series Championship. Devon Park hosting the 180th Bedlam game between Oklahoma and Oklahoma State. Cowgirls jumped out to a 1-0 lead. Last time they came to the plate, Oklahoma firing right back with a 2-run bomb by Kendall Wells. And now J.L. Austin with her first at bat of the night in the 9 spot for OSU. Miley Wichenio back in the circle for the Sooners. Hard roller to Gabby Garcia, 1 down. It's such a deep pitching staff for Oklahoma. Wichenio, obviously a big piece to that, transferring into the offseason from Ole Miss. And a lot of credit goes to Jen Rocha. We're so glad to see her back. Not just covering her ears at Devon Park because of how loud it is here tonight, but coaching after her long battle with cancer, missed 7 weeks of the season, returned in late March.
Yeah, I came back for that LSU series, and I know that everybody in the softball world, and of course everybody in the OU pitching staff, Patty Gasso, the Oklahoma team, happy to see her back, and just what a difference maker that she is in these young women's lives as just role models that they can look up to, and just a huge influence for them, but also as a pitching coach for this team. And taking over, calling pitches. Carly Keeney had come in and stepped in to be the pitching coach because it was very last minute right before season that Jen Rocha had announced that she wasn't going to be with the team. So Carly Keeney, a former OU pitcher, stepped in for February and then half of March. And then finally, Jen Rocha was able to come back in that LSU series. And look at the pitch calling. I think that there's just this ease and calmness that Coach Rocha brings to her pitching staff in terms of her preparation and the way that she communicates and works with their pitchers in and out of games. And since she's come back, I looked at the pitch calling for Miley Wichenio, and she's by far changing speeds more, 15% more. She's working her changeup and throwing an off-speed pitch more since Coach Rocha has come in and called pitches.
Patty Gasso said that without Rocha for the first 7 weeks of the season, it felt like she was missing her right arm. That's how close these two have become. And remember, Patty coached Jen. Jen pitched for the Sooners for 3 years and returned as a coach in 2019. They've won World Series championships together. They've developed some of the best arms in the sport together. And it really is a miracle the way she returned despite the diagnosis, a rare form of cervical cancer that required multiple procedures. A lot of prayer went into her return, and Patty Gasso said it's really a miracle that she's now back in the dugout, cancer-free, getting to do what she loves, and that is develop Oklahoma pitchers. One-two from Wichenio, misses outside.
And there's that off-speed pitch that Coach Rocha has been calling more. So rise ball calling a little bit less, screwball calling a little bit less, curveball calling a little bit less, changeup up, off-speed pitch up. So she came in and said, let's slow things down and really mix speeds with Wichenio and calling those off-speed pitches more.
Godwin, moonshot left field. Is it fair? And gone. Tie game at Devon Park. On a 2-out solo bomb by Carly Godwin. How about the grit of the Cowgirls tonight against the #1 team in the country?
Well, in a rivalry game, you have to punch back, and that's what we're seeing. OSU scored first. Oklahoma punches back, and then they take the lead. And now Godwin getting all of this pitch up and in on her hand. She gets her barrel there and just launches it into left field. The only question was if it was going to stay fair. It did. Miley Wichenio wanted it to be a foul ball, but that was definitely fair. Carly Godwin, who has that home run power, ties up this game with a big swing.
After grounding into a double play in her first at bat. Great adjustment by the Oklahoma State starting second baseman, and now passes the bat to Rosie Davis. Wichenio comes right back and gets ahead in the count 0-2.
Well, and Coach Gajewski told us just today when we had a coach call with him, I don't think our team is going to back down coming into this game. And already through 3, they're showing that. And really, the tone was set with Ruby Malin in the circle, with Oklahoma in a neutral setting, neutral field, being the home team. Oklahoma State being the home team. Ruby Malin out in the circle, struck out the side against Oklahoma in that first inning. The senior setting the tone for the team.
Davis sends the 1-2 in his center. It will drop off the glove of a diving Kai Minor. And a 2-out base knock for Davis.
Both offenses, second time through the order, making adjustments off of the starting pitchers. It's going to make for some fun pitch calling the rest of the way as we see how long they can last. But that's a changeup that Rosie Davis just goes down and gets. Another great piece of hitting, 2-strike hitting by Rosie Davis in that pitcher's count to go down and get that and continue this little 2-out rally.
And now Jen Rocha out of the Oklahoma dugout. After Kenny Gajewski's Cowgirls tied the game at 2. Well, this year's NFL draft is in Pittsburgh. The 3-day event begins next Thursday, 8 Eastern. And we will have every pick once again on ESPN. You can also find coverage on NFL Network, and as always, ABC's coverage focuses on the draft prospects' journey to the 2026 NFL Draft. Speaking of drafts, had Kinsey Hansen in here last half inning. She was a high draft pick in the AUSL draft just a year ago. That is coming up again soon. Many collegiate players have already received golden tickets. You got to present one. It's one of the cool aspects of that league and makes it very unique from any other draft against or with regards to professional leagues around the country.
Yeah, we already have these golden tickets handed out. There will be 17 in total when it's all said and done. The one that I got to hand out was at Stanford's brand new stadium to Taryn Kern under the rain after a win against Florida State, a walk-off grand slam by a freshman. It's quite a moment and something really special about the AUSL with those golden tickets. And still think about so many more to come. Who else is going to get one? We still have a couple more weekends of regular season play.
Was Taryn expecting the ticket?
That's a great question. I don't think so. She was pretty overwhelmed with emotions and crying and just genuinely so happy. And her teammates being so happy for her. And celebrating her was just something really special. I'll never forget it. But all those moments are just so cool.
0-2 count to Lexi McDonald, who doubled and later came around to score in her first at bat. Putting the Pokes on the board first here in OKC. Uchenyo gets a strikeout to close the third, her fourth. But not before OK State could tie the game on this Carly Godwin moonshot to left.
I'm loving this rivalry matchup. The punch is thrown, the ball leaving the ballpark in front of 9,000 fans. Carly Godwin with her fourth home run ties this game at 2.
You're watching the Big 12 on ESPN. Gorgeous night in Oklahoma City for the 180th meeting of the Bedlam rivalry between Oklahoma and Oklahoma State. We're now joined by the Pokes head coach, Kenny Gajewski. Coach, you told us coming into this game, you knew for certain your girls weren't going to back down. How about the energy and the resilience they've shown through the first 3.5 innings?
Yeah, it's been a good fight up to this point. They punch, we're punching, and that's one thing that we've got to do is to be able to punch back. You get here and you're playing in front of this crowd, and it's a big OU crowd, and proud of our kids for the way they're going about it so far.
Coach, you see Ruby all the time. What are you seeing from her tonight?
Yeah, it's good stuff. She can get a couple of those rise balls down a notch. They're going to chase those, I think. We've seen them go after those. I thought the ball that Wells hit was an absolute nuke, but it was in the wrong. It was in the wrong place, and so she's shown that if she can execute, she can get them to miss, and she's got to keep that up. These guys are relentless, and it's a real grind.
Coach, I like that verbiage. I might steal it from you for home run calls later on this year.
It's a nuke. All right.
Thanks
I love
a lot
it.
for your time.
Thank you. All right, bye.
One of the great coaches and interviews in collegiate softball, and he's right. Ruby Malin, maybe besides that home run and the triple by Kai Minor, which could have been caught potentially by Tia Warsop in left field, has looked really good tonight.
Yeah, she has, and it's going to be all about the adjustments that she makes the second time through and potentially even the third time through the order against Oklahoma. And the thing about Ruby Malin, and an era where pitching staffs are really being used and coaches aren't scared to go to a middle relief pitcher and a closer. Ruby Malin has the stuff and the mentality and the endurance to go the distance. So you know that Kenny Gajewski is going to keep her out there for as long as possible and ride her arm, not just in this game, but really through the rest of the season.
Over 150 innings pitched this year for Ruby Malin. Tops amongst Power 4 pitchers, top 10 amongst all pitchers in Division I.
Well, this is a pitcher that just really takes care of herself. She works hard, trains, diet is important to her. Sleep is important to her. When she came into the season, she really just got it all together to enter into her senior season and try to leave it all out there on the field. And just competes hard, to the point where maybe some people go against her, and just she kind of has that edge mentally against them, where kind of rub you the wrong way a little bit with the way that she competes. But she is a fierce competitor, and to beat a team like Oklahoma, you have to have that edge mentally. You have to be fearless and believe that you can beat them, and I guarantee you, Ruby Malin does.
2-2 count to Cassidy Pickering. To second base, off the glove of Godwin, stuck with it, one down.
I'm sure, too, the last year's game right here on this field when Oklahoma State was cruising early on and then the game took a turn, I bet that game is in the back of her mind, wanting to go out and prove that she can beat this Oklahoma team. And the pitcher that showed up in the first 3 innings of the game last year is the pitcher that can show up for the full game this year and have a chance to beat them.
Strike one to Agbayani. Such a fantastic acquisition out of the transfer portal last year for the Sooners. Coming over from BYU, where she was a tremendous shortstop and swinger of the bat. And that has transitioned to the highest level of the sport at Oklahoma. She's aboard for the first time tonight.
And looking at Ruby's numbers, Matt, she had a tough Clearwater Invitational tournament that we had the second weekend of season. She got hit around a little bit in Clearwater, and Kenny Gajewski really has felt like she's been a different pitcher since then. When I looked at her ERA in February, it was over 3. In March, she cut it in half, 1.45, and then in April, it's just right at 2. So in February, she did get hit hard. They played great competition, as Kenny Gajewski always puts together a tough strength of schedule.
Mile high pop up right side of the infield, and it's Lexi McDonald, Malin's roommate, making the catch in foul territory.
Yeah, but the difference has been using her rise ball a little bit more. In February, she used that rise ball 25% of the time. March and April, 32% of the time. It went up by 7%. And the thing that stuck out to me about that rise ball usage is that in February, the slugging percentage off of it was over 500. And March and April, it's just about 350. So being able to use that rise ball more effectively alongside her drop that you know that she's always been able to rely on.
Now, Kenny has told us, too, that feels like Ruby, over the course of the season, Amanda, has really done a good job adapting to how opposing offenses are scouting her. Because at the end of the day, we've chronicled the amount that she has used more than any other Power 4 pitcher. There is a lot of tape on Ruby Malin from the last 2 seasons. Runner goes. Agbayani sliding around the tag is safe. And now the go-ahead run in scoring position.
There's that speed down at the bottom of the Oklahoma order in the top with Minor, and this is just a 4th stolen base for Agbayani. I thought that the throw beater, she dove around the backside, and it looked like Jones had a difficult time making that tag, and she moves herself into scoring position with that stolen base.
Just the 6th of the year against Audrey Schneidmiller. Strike 2 to Dayton. The toughest strikeout in the SEC. And she bats in the 9-hole. A historic OU offense this year. Dayton to second base. This time Godwin fields cleanly. And Malin pitches around a 1-out single. The 2-time All-American keeping Oklahoma State right on par. Back from the softball capital of the world, Oklahoma City, home to Devon Park and home to the 180th meeting between Oklahoma and Oklahoma State. We're now joined by Sooners head coach Patty Gasso. Coach, after that last half inning, you just brought your entire team together in front of your dugout. What was your message?
I hope you did not have the cameras on that. I was not happy. I'm not happy. I think we're going through motions. We're just kind of losing the opportunity to embrace this beautiful night with so many fans, and we're just kind of, we had a runner in scoring position, and the dugout is just standing there like they have no idea what's going on. So we're just maybe a little bit of a Texas hangover here, but that's inexcusable. So the goal is to make this change quickly.
Coach, with Ruby Malin in the circle, you've seen her for many years now. What would you like to see your offense do against her at this point?
Be ready to swing early, zone off the rise ball, and be ready to hit something that she's going to bring over the plate or it slightly down. But if you're going to swing hard. We're just swinging into easy ground outs. You got to swing the bat hard to get a ball through here. So,
Coach, always appreciate you, your time, and your honesty. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach.
Tell that in that interview she's a little fired up, and you saw it in between innings. She brought the team together and had that fired up Patty Gasso trying to kick her team into gear. It's not really liking their approach at the plate as Miley Wacheney was pitched pretty well. We'll see how she's going to do this third time through the order when Oklahoma State is able to come up, but she's got to finish this second time through first.
Well, you heard Patty reference the Texas series. That was highly competitive, highly emotional. It was a series with a lot of history. Remember, they faced off on this field last year with a trip to the Women's College World Series Championship Series on the line. And Miley Wacheney pitched in that series against Texas, was phenomenal. But you played this game a long time, Amanda. You also played in high leverage games, pitched in high leverage games. Did you ever sense a hangover coming off a big series?
Oh, yeah. It definitely is just so easy to happen. And especially at this time of year, these players are playing so many ranked opponents and intense matchups. And really, as Miley Wacheney gets a strikeout on her changeup there for strikeout number 5, it's a lot to take on, especially this stretch for Oklahoma, playing their rival in Texas and then a midweek Bedlam game, and then facing a top 5 Arkansas team this weekend that, of course, there's some familiarity there with Patty Gasso's son, DJ Gasso, going to be on the coaching staff. So this is a tough stretch for Oklahoma. That is going to really test them.
Line drive into the gap in left center, down for extra bases. Warsop's second double of the night, and the go-ahead run in scoring position for the Pokes in the bottom of the 4th.
Again, these lefties having a ton of success off of Wacheney. They've had about 80 to 90 points higher off of Wacheney, and it looks like a screwball that Warsop just stays in on. So her first double was on a curveball in her hand. She hit it to right center field. This is a screwball away from her. She hits it to left center field. Look at Warsop hitting all fields and being just a spark in the bottom half of this order for Oklahoma State.
Oh, you referenced the Arkansas series, too. I mean, this midweek ultra-competitive rivalry is sandwiched between two of the biggest regular season series of Oklahoma's year. The rivalry with Texas and then, of course, Arkansas. A series with real meaning for an Oklahoma team that currently sits atop the SEC by 1 game over Alabama. In a heated battle here with their arch rival.
Well, and then, of course, Oklahoma State having to host Arizona this weekend. That Arizona team has one of the best offenses in the country. But for Oklahoma, going from Texas to Bedlam tonight and then Arkansas, that is a tough stretch. It just is not easy in a Power 4 conference, especially this time of year. You were tested big time.
It's exhausting.
It's a grind. Every game has meaning, not only for a conference championship, but also for the selection show and the bracket that's to come after the conference tournaments in terms of seeding, and every game matters. Every pitch matters.
Strike 2 to Schneidmiller. Both of these leagues that these two teams play in so strong. Big 12 and SEC feature 15 of the 25 teams currently ranked in collegiate softball. 2-2. Handcuffed down the alley in left field. Here comes Warsop, testing the arm of Dayton. No throw into home, and Oklahoma State leads again.
You show different forms of fight in a rivalry game like this, in any game. regular season, postseason, that 2-strike swing by Schneidmiller. She got jammed. This pitch ate her up, but she bites it off. She is fisted. That pitch is about a ball, 2 balls off the plate at her hands, and it finds grass in fair territory. And Warsaw, remember, she has a ton of speed. She got herself there with a double 2-strike hitting for Schneidmiller, and Oklahoma State is fired up and not backing down.
This team has some big top 25 wins this year, Amanda. 7 of them. Think back to earlier in the year, wins over A&M, Nebraska, UCLA, but Oklahoma State looking for their first win against a #1 ranked team since they beat Oklahoma on this field in the Big 12 title game back in 2022. Kaya Booker will pinch run at first base as Aubrey Jones digs in. Meanwhile, Sydney Berzon, the LSU transfer, getting loose in the Oklahoma bullpen. Good off speed from Wachenio. Jones drops down a bunt. Wachenio into field from the rubber. Second out. And Schneidmiller moves into scoring position, rather Booker.
JL Austin coming up, a freshman who started the season really hot in February. You can tell she's just so talented, athletic, plays a great defense in center field, and actually started out as the leadoff hitter for Oklahoma State. And then Kenny had pulled her for a few games and only did not start her, only brought her in to pinch hit. But this is a huge situation for a very talented freshman with a runner in scoring position, leadoff hitter on deck, and Coach Gasso definitely wants to chat about it, knowing this situation and making a pitching change actually here.
We will have a change and take a break at Devon Park. Runner in scoring position when we return. Welcome back to the home of the Women's College World Series beginning May 28th on ABC, ESPN, and ESPN2. The winners of 4 out of the last 5 World Series championships down a run in the Bedlam game. Miley Wachenio out at least for now after 3 2/3 innings pitched. And in steps Kirsten Deal, one of just 2 returning arms from 2025 in the Oklahoma bullpen.
I think bringing in the lefty Deal for a couple of lefties that are going to be coming up potentially in this inning. Of course, Austin up right now, and then Claire Tim on deck, and then the home run hitter and Godwin. So Patty Asso just trying to get ahead of the change and bring in the lefty and deal for a couple of lefties and that home run hitter.
0-1 to Austin. Swinging away after trying a bunt attempt on the first pitch. Oklahoma State has scored a run in each of the last 3 innings. Handful of extra base hits in this game, including 3 doubles. And a home run in the third by Carly Godwin.
Oklahoma fans that loves Field and hear anything close, they want it for a strike. I mean, that was like definitely a ball, you know, like not even really close, but they want it.
No hurt in trying, right?
That's right.
It's funny, Kenny Gajewski knows that in large part this crowd is going to be pro OU. He played Boomer Sooner as loud as possible at his home stadium 2 days ago during practice. Said it may have rubbed some of his girls the wrong way, but definitely prepared them for tonight. Austin into left field. And in to score is Booker on a 2-out double for the Pokes. 2-run lead in OKC.
I don't mean to sound like a broken record, but just another good piece of hitting with 2 strikes. Great at bat. This pitch is about a ball and a half, 2 balls off the plate, but Austin just sticks with it with 2 strikes. And Oklahoma State able to strike again with 2 outs scoring here. His at bats there just not going away, scoring another run. Now a 2-run lead.
Back to the top of the order for Claire Tim. Now 5 of Oklahoma State's 7 hits have gone for extra bases, including 4 doubles. This is an offense, too, that has underachieved in certain respects throughout the courses of the season. But they certainly have found a bit more rhythm over the last 2 weeks. Winners of 10 of their last 12 games. All of their offensive numbers up over that stretch, which has included 3 straight series wins in the Big 12.
And they went all in on their offensive training in the fall. Oklahoma State did just a lot of offensive mentality and physical work as well, with investing in a couple of pitching machines to put them into the weekly rotation routinely and set it up in the indoor. And it was Kenny Gajewski's goal for each hitter to get 70 to 75 at-bats before the season started. Got to face some pitchers, some former Oklahoma State pitchers, and Lexi Kilfoyle and Carrie Eberly, who's his pitching coach as well, just trying to get them ABs head into the season to grow this offense ahead of time.
There were, in the words of Kenny G, not many days off with the bats in hand in Stillwater this fall. Full count to his leadoff hitter, Claire Tim, who has reached safely in 20 straight games and continues the streak with her 2nd walk of the night.
You know, and one of the things that they really focused on in the fall was adjusting within at-bats that they had in the fall leading up to season. And something that you've seen them do very well in this game is adjust within at-bats and battle with 2 strikes.
And may we be seeing another pitching change? Indeed we will. Kirsten Deal faces just 2 batters, gives up a double and a walk. And now the freshman Alyssa Parker will come in to pitch for the Sooners. So much depth in this Oklahoma bullpen. Couple of returners, couple of transfer portal pieces, and then this elite freshman, two-way player who's really not even scratched the surface in the circle, Amanda. Alyssa Parker will get the ball here with a 4-2 deficit, 2 on and 2 out in the bottom of the fourth.
Yeah, she's gotten some good pitching time as a freshman in this really deep pitching staff, and I feel like the times that she's come in, especially in relief, she's been able to shut offenses down. Like, really great for a freshman. And the thing that you hear from Patty Gasso and that you see in her whenever she pitches, she's just a fierce competitor. She's an athlete, can play just about any position in the field. She can hit for herself. I mean, this is a very big-time recruit for Patty Gasso to add Alyssa Parker just because of the versatility and just the depth that she brings and what she brings to this team.
Has really benefited from the return of Oklahoma pitching coach Jen Rocha, who has coaxed her into the bullpen more and more because, as you mentioned, she can play every position in the field. She hits and she can pitch. Patty Gasso said there's not enough time in a day to get her the work that she needs at all of those positions. But Jen Rocha, since returning to the team in late March, has really taken the young freshman under her wings as they continue to find ways to use Alyssa Parker in the best ways possible. Truly one of the great young athletes in our sport.
And two, Oklahoma has Audrey Lowry in the bullpen as well as Sydney Berzon. So getting everybody warm, knowing that this might not be the last pitching change that they make if Oklahoma State's offense keeps rolling.
Off speed, strike one to Carly Godwin, who homered in her last at bat. 2 on and 2 out. Oklahoma State has already plated 2 in the fourth.
Gonna try to get her to roll into a roll a ground ball to this really stellar infield behind Parker, the freshman, because Parker will really rely on her drop ball and change and screwball. There's a bit of an off-speed pitch there, getting the bottom of the zone, and Godwin just does not agree with it at all. For Oklahoma State, though, with 2 strikes, they've had great at-bats, a lot of hits with 2 strikes. In fact, Godwin's home run came in a 2-strike count.
Good eye from Godwin, 2-2. Should she reach, Rosie Davis awaits on deck. Godwin won't. Big strikeout for Alyssa Parker to close the door on the Pokes in the fourth. But Oklahoma State plates 2, and they lead it by 2 after 4.
Ruby Malin wants the ball. She wants the ball in the regular season, in the postseason, and of course in this rivalry matchup. She came out in the first inning, struck out the side for just the 4th time in an OU inning this entire season. Her rise ball is rising. She's throwing at multiple different levels. 5 strikeouts so far for Ruby Malin as she now heads and will have to face this tough offense for a 3rd time. But she has just set the tone for Oklahoma State. She is a fighter. She is fearless, and her stuff has looked really good tonight.
Pitch count has gone down, Amanda, in each inning since the first. Struck out the side on 25 pitches in the first inning. Has not eclipsed 16 pitches in the subsequent 3 innings since. Be very interesting to see how Oklahoma adjusts 3rd time through and responds to a fiery pep talk from Patty Gasso.
When we talked to her in the interview, she said what she wants to see in these at-bats off of Ruby Malin is swinging early, laying off the rise ball, and swinging hard. It's 3rd time through. We'll see if we see that.
Minor did punch one off the glove of Tia Warsop in deep left the last time she came to the plate. Reached 3rd base to lead off the 3rd inning. And so far tonight, that is the only inning in which the Sooners have scored. One of the great offenses historically, not just this year, and not just in this program's history, averaging over 11 runs per game. They've been held to just 2 so far tonight against Ruby Malin. And Malin has her 6th strikeout.
I mean, this looks like another rise ball to me, just on another level. Just above the knees. We'll be able to see it here as she spins that pitch, just paints the outside corner with it, able to throw that pitch on all different levels. And it's a good sign for Malin to get out Minor, who hit one hard off of her in her last AB.
And now Ella Parker will come to the dish, who has twice struck out tonight against Malin.
When Ella Parker comes up, Oklahoma State's been playing pretty big defensive shifts, and in particular when Parker comes up to the plate, playing 3 infielders on the right side is Rosie Davis, who looks like she's playing second base or is playing to the right side of second base. Her true position is third base. She's all the way on the other side of the field, but playing Ella Parker to be a pull hitter.
Were you ever shifted against in college?
That wasn't, you know, as big of a thing back in the day when I played, as all the information and data that they have now to be able to play to those shifts. So not really.
I just wonder, Amanda, psychologically, how does that affect you, if at all, if you're in the box as a hitter?
I think you definitely notice it. You think about, what does that mean for the pitch calling? What does that mean for the pitches that I'm going to see and what I need to do to try to beat the shift? Like, somehow, some way, it's in the back of your mind a little bit. And you can say, oh yeah, it doesn't bother me. But even if it's just like 2%, right? Like, it doesn't even have to be 50%. It bothers me. Even if it's 1%, it's somewhere in the back of your mind that you're just aware of what's going on.
I would think it'd be a little bit jarring to see 3 infielders on the right-hand side, and then this giant gap to the left, almost welcoming you to try and spray it that way.
Well, and then it's all about, too, when you run defensive shifts like this, it's all about the pitcher being able to execute pitches in the way that she wants to as well, because you can play Ella Parker to be a pull side hitter and maybe pitch her more inside and pitch to the shift, but if you're trying to throw her in and then you pitch it out and it helps her beat the shift, then that's going to be on the pitcher.
strike 3 called. Parker thought it was ball 4, and instead the 7th strikeout of the night for Malin, who is grinning ear to ear. And now with 2 down and the bases clear, she will take on Kendall Wells, who did this in the 3rd.
Yeah. With an outside pitch, it was a drop ball low and away, and Kenny Gajewski called that a nuke off of her bat. Kendall Wells has 10 opposite field home runs this season. She's hit 32, so a third of her home runs have been to the opposite side. She does not just have the pull power, she has that power to all parts of the field. It's really what makes her just such a tough out, knowing that she can beat you at any part of the field.
She is the headliner this year in what has been a monster offensive season for Oklahoma. As a program, they are nearing multiple offensive records. She is 3 shy of breaking Jocelyn Alo's program record, and just a few more shy of breaking Layla Espinosa's D1 record of 37 home runs, which was set all the way back in 1995. Folks, she's 40 games into her freshman season. What a remarkable start to her career. And how about the names, Amanda, that she is now in the same conversation as a first-year player for the Sooners?
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, every time she steps up to the plate as a freshman, she has a chance to hit it out of here. And I was looking at her high school stats, and in her high school career, just as a high school softball player, she had 55 home runs. And that was like in, I think, 180 games or something. She's hit 32 home runs as a Division I softball player playing in the best softball conference in the country.
And nearing a record from Laura Espinosa that has stood for 30 years. Broke the SEC single season home run record earlier this year in just 37 games. And that's the other piece that has so impressed her legendary head coach, who's coached all of the greats, Patty Gasso. How quickly we're having these discussions about chasing records. We're not even into May yet. Good pitch from Malin to get ahead in the count.
Yeah, a couple of swings and misses right there. One on the rise ball up and in, and then on a rise ball on the outside corner too. And where pitchers have been trying to get Kendall Wells out is drop ball and a curveball moving away from her that she's been liable to chase. That's where she goes right there. Ruby Malin does, and I think that as Kendall Wells has gone on in the month of March and April, she's seen so many of those pitches. And remember in the Ole Miss series that I was calling for 2 games, Ole Miss kind of started to expose that hole a bit. And then as SEC play has continued on, other SEC teams have tried to pitch her there.
Chopper to third, well fielded by Davis, and the throw gets away from McDonald. Just pulled McDonald out of position. And Wells keeps the inning alive for the Sooners.
Well, and I think a really underrated aspect of Kendall Wells and just her overall athleticism is that she actually runs pretty well. She had 62 stolen bases in high school, so Rosie Davis had to play that, or feel like she had to play that pretty perfectly. Got the short hop that she wanted, but just could not finish it with the throw. And McDonald trying to make that stretch to come away with a catch, but we've seen this time and time again, Matt. When you give Oklahoma extra chances, they consistently make you pay.
Tying run at the plate in the form of Gabby Garcia. Garcia's home run power unquestioned. 18 homers this year for the Sooners starting shortstop. High fly ball down the left field line. Warsop has a bead and makes the catch to secure the final out of the 5th. Ruby Malin with a 4-2 lead against number 1 Oklahoma. The top offense in the country got their scoring started with Kendall Wells in the 3rd, her 32nd home run of the season. Those are the only runs they have scored tonight, though, since it's been all Oklahoma State. Carly Godwin homering in the 3rd. Then Schneidmiller, a single down the line scoring Warsop, followed up by a J.L. Austin 2-bagger scoring Booker from second base. And Oklahoma State has scored in each of the last 3 innings. They lead at 4-2 in search of their first win against the number 1 program in the country in nearly 4 years.
Yeah, and even watching that package in Oklahoma just so quickly punch back with the Wells home run after Oklahoma State scored first coming in to this game. Kenny Gajewski said, I'm so interested to see, can we endure the ups and downs of a rivalry matchup like this? And his team clearly has.
This rivalry game against the number 1 team in the country for Oklahoma State starts a stretch of 5 consecutive games against ranked opponents. They will play a very good Arizona team in a 3-game in-conference series over the weekend. And then they'll be in Austin to take on a top 10 Texas Longhorns team a week from tonight.
And you think about the opportunity for Oklahoma State there. They got some great wins in February against several top 10 teams under their resume belt. But how can these next ranked opponents that you just mentioned, if they win this one and maybe sweep against Arizona or win the series and then beat Texas next week, how does that affect their resume for the postseason? Right now, I feel like they're on the outside looking in to a national seed. And boy, would this ever be a tough 2 seed coming to your house. RPI 22, strength of schedule 28, and 6 wins versus top 25 opponents. But they have opportunities ahead of them starting here tonight to finish this game.
Davis could be a tough play, and it's in and out of the glove of Agbayani, and Davis wisely takes second base. Another leadoff runner aboard for Oklahoma State.
You know, this would be a tough play, but this is a play that Agbayani, especially down by 2 on this field, she's going to tell you that she should make this. And I even think back to Garcia dropping a foul ball back in the 1st inning, and what Patty Gasso is just trying to get her team just motivated, showing some fight, and a couple of drop fly balls that would be difficult plays, but for her middle infielders in the standard of defense on this team are plays that she would tell you, Coach Gasso would, and both Garcia and Agbayani, that they need to make.
Agbayani, a Gold Glove winner at second base. Now another runner in scoring position for Oklahoma State. It feels like their offense has lived in scoring position tonight. Nobody out for Lexi McDonald. Ball was tipped. Davis will go back to second base.
You know, it's always telling to look at the lefty-righty splits for a pitcher, and for Parker in the circle, the lefties are hitting .317 off of her. Righties just .147. It's about 170 points higher for lefties against her so far this season in her young freshman year.
Strike flutters in for Alyssa Parker, the third Sooner pitcher tonight for Patty Gasso. First Bedlam experience for the freshman in the circle. Bounces that in the dirt to Wells.
Oh, what a great stop. I mean, every 60 feet matters so much, and the fact that she just didn't even bobble that ball in the dirt and picked it out of the dirt, extremely impressive.
That's the composure former Johnny Bench Award winner Kinsey Hansen told us about earlier tonight. Meanwhile, McDonald draws a walk, and now 2 on and nobody out in the 5th. And the Sooner faithful do not like the call behind home. On the flip side, Cowgirls fans, maybe Amanda sensing and anticipating a potential big inning to really put the pressure on Oklahoma here in the 5th.
Well, especially because Amanda Hassler is coming up with her 10 home runs, and she has 2 strikeouts in this game. Big opportunity here with runners on.
Hassler drops down a bunt. Wells to third, gets away. Every runner is safe, and the bases are loaded. And how about this small ball from the home run hitting Amanda Hassler?
And was trying to lay down a sacrifice bunt and was given a gift by the freshman and Kendall Wells. Just a bad decision. There's just no way she's going to be able to make that out at third base with Davis's speed, and bad communication on the Oklahoma infield that maybe they weren't saying anything. Maybe they were calling for 3, but I doubt it with how close that play was going to be at third base. I mean, Kendall Wells just had no shot at getting her at third base for the force. The clear out was going to be at first just to get in out, with the first 3 reaching in this inning now.
And now Tia Warsop comes to the plate with a pair of doubles and already a run batted in. Nobody out, bases loaded, with a 2-run lead for Oklahoma State. Warsop batting .222 this year with runners with the bases loaded. Big opportunity for Oklahoma State.
You know, Warsop is such a great story because she came in as a slapper and has turned herself into a hitter. And Kenny Gajewski said in February, good things happen when Tia Warsop is at the plate. And that changeup is completely fooling these Oklahoma State hitters. They want nothing to do with it. I would love to see the radar tonight. We don't have it up, but I would say it's upper 40s that Parker is dropping it down to with that changeup. Oklahoma State's really not even swung at it.
2-2.
And now, this is when it is a gutsy call. Base is loaded. Will she throw that changeup? It's really been the only pitch that she can throw for a strike, but it's a tough one to throw with the bases loaded.
No margin for error. Warsop to second base. Agbayani, a backhand flip. Doing well to field that ball despite the runner in her line of vision. But nonetheless, Davis coming in to score. It's a 5-2 lead with 2 in scoring position and still just the 1 out.
It's great execution by Warsop to fight that pitch off with 2 strikes. Maybe she was thinking about the changeup as well. Looked like she got a little bit jammed with that drop ball, but ground ball to the right side, even in a bases loaded situation, pushes across another run for Oklahoma State.
Patty Gasso out of the Oklahoma dugout again. Maybe just chatting with her defense. Marty Abasesian, our first base umpire.
I think potentially asking maybe about runner interference with that runner from going from first base to second base in the attempt for Agbayani to make that play. Saying that maybe if there wouldn't have been any type of interference, she would have had a potential play at home. So look at this runner at first base, and Agbayani just sits back on that ground ball, knowing that the runner is going to be going in front of her, just kind of conceding that run and getting the out at first base. But I think maybe also asking if the ball potentially hit the runner's foot. A lot of things going on there, but
didn't appear to me that Amanda Hassler did anything out of the ordinary. Stayed in the running lane, did not try to deflect the ball. Rather, Macy Graff, who was pinch running for Hassler. And so nothing comes of the trot out of the dugout from Patty Gasso. Schneidmiller check swing, runner comes in from third. Now a run down up the line. Then Oklahoma will get the out. Well played by Kendall Wells, as Lexi McDonald was really trapped as Graff came in behind her and stood on the third base bag. And that keeps a run off the board, 2 down, as Schneidmiller moves over to second base. Now there's that off speed that's just fooled this Oklahoma State offense. Still, though, they found a way, Amanda, to just continue scoring runs. Now 4 innings in a row scoring runs for Oklahoma State.
And I feel like Alyssa Parker has done a really nice job in this game. We talked about when she entered the game last inning, just that competitiveness and that confidence that she pitches with in the circle.
High fly ball off the bat of Jones at first base, making a late adjustment. Lexi McDaniel with the catch. Polk score another. They lead it by 3 after 5. The sport of softball has never been in a better place. Think back to April 9th last year, a regular season record in attendance over 9,000. Then just 10 days later in Stanford's football stadium, the Cardinals softball team set 13,000 in the seats, Amanda Scarborough.
And then we had the most watched Women's College World Series on record in June of 2025. And then that momentum continued on into the summer for record-setting attendance for the AUSL and a lot of viewership and engagement with their social channels, as well as into August, the most watched Little League Softball Championship game on record. So think about that at all different levels: college softball, professional softball, Little League softball, women of playing the sport, girls playing the sport of all different ages. Softball is soaring, attendance is soaring, viewership is soaring. It's awesome to be a part of, and to think it's middle of April, so mayhem is just around the corner, coming up in a couple of weeks for what should be an awesome postseason.
All teams hoping to be among the final 8, playing back on this field for a national championship. Oklahoma has won 4 of the last 5 national titles. Last year, it was Texas winning the program's first. Meanwhile, Ruby Malin, Amanda, continues to cruise for Oklahoma State. NCAA Gymnastics Championship semifinals once again on the deuce. First round rotation tomorrow at 4:30, featuring LSU among others, and then Oklahoma, UCLA, Arkansas, and Minnesota in our second session at 9 p.m. Ruby Malin pitched in the Bedlam game last year. Got off to an excellent start. Had a 1-run lead through 3 innings. Dealt with some rockiness in the 4th, ultimately knocked out of that game. She so badly wanted the ball again here tonight. Frankly, there was no other option. She has been the horse this year for Oklahoma State. She has delivered so far through 5 1/3.
Yeah, Kenny Gajewski told us this morning, the question is, can she go out there and control her heartbeat and finish her pitches? And that's what he was going to be looking for, just knowing how important pitching is and the experience of a senior and All-American in Ruby Malin, being able to execute her pitches against an offense like Oklahoma has.
Sooners offense leads the nation in over 10 statistical categories. They have been held in check largely tonight, outside of the Kendall Wells two-run homer in the 3rd. Sooners lead the nation this year with 29 run rule victories. Patty Gasso's team has steamrolled its competition for much of the year. Yes, they do have the 4 losses. 3 of those to ranked teams, including Texas this past Sunday. So much of the conversation, though, coming into the night was about whether or not Oklahoma State even had a chance to compete, let alone win. And they lead by 3 here in the top of the 6th with 1 down, and Ruby Malin still working well in the circle.
You know, I look back at the losses that Oklahoma has had the last 3 seasons, and there's about 20 losses. And when you look at the scores of those losses, the average runs per game that Oklahoma scores in those games is between 2 and 3 runs. About 2.7 runs per game is what I had before their last 2 losses. So in order to beat them, you have to play great on defense. because their offense is going to attempt to hit the ball hard, high exit velocity. You can't make errors, free passes. And while the exit velocity tonight for Oklahoma has been down a little bit, there's been a lot of soft outs, easy outs for OSU's defense.
Great pitch by Malin, Amanda. Her 8th strikeout. Responding as well after she thought she had a strikeout on the previous pitch. 2 gone.
Yeah, being able to go inside to these left-handed hitters. That drop ball just fell off the table. Lean on her rise ball heavy first 2 times through the order, and now seeming to bring that drop ball in a little bit more. She just is so competitive. She is just locked in tonight.
Has allowed just 1 hit in the last 12 batters faced. The only other runner to reach was Kendall Wells on an error. Frankly, the lone blemish so far tonight for this Oklahoma State defense, which has been sharp behind their ace.
And that drop ball that Ruby Malin throws, Kenny Gajewski had told us last year, drops and breaks down between 8 and 13 inches. You could see it. And that Pickering back foot drop ball low and in for the strikeout. And there's a little bit of a change up there, just keeping in the back of these hitters' minds. Throwing it that pitch more this year to complement her drop ball, to complement her rise ball.
She has the ability to blow it by you. We've seen that throughout her career. Kenny Gajewski told us she is the best they've ever had at Oklahoma State in terms of her ability to pitch with power. Is it 74 on the radar? That sneaks through. Carly Godwin at second base. And Ailana Agbayani keeps the inning alive.
And these are the plays that you have to make if you want to beat Oklahoma. And it's tough because Carly Godwin is not really a second baseman. That's not what she had played in her career at Oklahoma State. That's where she's at right now. But just trying to find the puzzle pieces for Oklahoma State's lineup, their defense, their offense. Kenny Gajewski trying to make all the right moves, put her there. But I believe an everyday second baseman who has seen that kind of exit velocity before, that hard hit, is going to get their glove down and make that play.
Godwin starting just her 7th game of the year at second base. And now Patty Gasso will bring a pinch hitter to the plate. Alyssa Parker will hit for the first time tonight for the Sooners. And that is officially ruled an error. 2nd of the night on Oklahoma State. And while Malin can throw with great velocity, Kenny told us that over the course of this season, she's really figured out that her best is somewhere a little bit below that. 68 to 70, mixing in the off speed as we've seen her do tonight.
Just that fine line as a pitcher of understanding your data. What's getting you weak contact? What's getting you the biggest break, the most RPMs? And as a pitcher, you just grow up wanting to throw hard. You want to hit 60. You want to hit milestones. You want to hit 70. And you learn as a college pitcher that speed is just not going to be the only thing that works here.
Particularly against Oklahoma. Because if a fast pitch meets the big barrels of this Sooners offense, the ball is going to travel a long way, as it has multiple times this year for Alyssa Parker. 10 home runs in her freshman season. Strike one.
And it's in moments like this, after that error, that Ruby Malin has to level up her game. And Oklahoma in prior seasons, this season, they're so good at taking advantage of walks and errors to be able to score runs off of those. So after that error, that did go down as an error on Carly Godwin, Ruby Malin has to bear down here. Every out's so important here late in the game, even when you're up by 3 runs.
And these are rare errors from the Cowgirls defense, which leads the Big 12 in fielding percentage this year. 2-1 up the middle, finds center field. A pinch hit single for Alyssa Parker, and all of a sudden Oklahoma with life in the 6th. Abby Dayton will come to the plate with 2 on and 2 down as the game-tying run in the 6th inning of this Bedlam rivalry, which never disappoints. Dayton tonight has twice grounded out to second base. Just trying to get on, flip the lineup back over to the top. Kai Miner awaiting on deck.
You mentioned this before, but Abby Dayton is just so tough to strike out. So if you're thinking, oh, it's the 9-hole, maybe we can get a strikeout here as OU is just rallying here with 2 outs. She's likely not going to go down that way and put pressure on a defense to make plays and have them get her out.
Launched into left, towards the wall, and it's down for extra bases. 2 runs will score as Dayton stays put at second base. 1-run game at Devon Park.
It is a tough play. There are tough plays that were to be made in this inning, but you have to make it if you want to beat Oklahoma. First step in and not back by Graf, who's now out in left field. You have to catch that ball. The error by Godwin led to this. A 2-out error leads to 2 runs for Oklahoma. And Abby Dayton turns over the order, hit that ball hard, and OSU just could not make a play.
We began the inning talking about how important, Amanda, defense is against Oklahoma if you're going to beat the Sooners, as history has shown us over the last 3 years. In this inning, multiple mistakes defensively for the team that leads the Big 12 in fielding percentage. And now Kai Miner has a chance to tie the game with a runner in scoring position.
So important for Ruby Meylan just in this situation to continue to trust her defense and not overthrow. With a couple of plays with 2 outs that she knows should be made and she should be out of this inning, it's easy for, as you mentioned, a power pitcher to want to power up in this situation. But she has to continue to spin the ball and locate her pitches.
Two. "116 pitches tonight for Meylan. Full count to Miner. Miner to third. Davis slings it across the diamond, and that shuts the door on the Sooners in the 6th. But Oklahoma gets 2 runs back, their first scoring since the 3rd. 1-run game in OKC. What a week we've had, and we're not even to the end of it. Alabama falling to Samford 3-2. First time since the 90s. The Samford Bulldogs beating their crosstown Power 4 foe. Texas State stunning Nigeri Kennedy at number 3 Texas Tech 3-zip. And earlier tonight right here on ESPN2, Duke outlasting number 9 Tennessee. Might we be in store for another top-ranked team going down tonight? A one-run game in Oklahoma City. The top-ranked Sooners trailing the Cowgirls as we start the bottom of the 6th.
I'll tell you what, Duke really can swing it. Marissa Young and that Duke team finding themselves at the top of the ACC right now. And Texas Tech a little bit worrisome with their offense. Their last 2 losses both coming within a week. Get shut out by Utah and then shut out by Texas State.
Alyssa Parker back in the circle for Oklahoma. J.L. Austin leads it off for Oklahoma State at the bottom of the order. Singled and drove in a run back in the 4th.
If Oklahoma comes back to win this, I think you got to give Alyssa Parker, the freshman, a ton of credit for stepping into the circle, competing, also getting a hit when her name was called. Patty Gasso looking for that spark, that energy that she wanted to see after what she called maybe potential hangover after that Texas series that they won in Austin on the road. Just a complete battle that they played against their rival. It would be big, too, for Oklahoma if they could keep Alyssa Parker in there and not have to bring in Sydney Bruzan, not have to bring likely their Friday night starter for the Arkansas series and Audrey Lowry, the lefty.
Back to the top of the order, Claire Tim looks at strike 1 from the 2-time Oklahoma Gatorade Softball Player of the Year. She was the number 1 ranked pitcher coming out of high school. Yet we've seen her start at every infield position this year. Has also started 6 games in the circle, has also swung a great bat. Saw her get a pinch hit base knock last half inning. The future is very bright for Alyssa Parker at OU. Meanwhile, off the end of the bat, Claire Tim continues to have an excellent night at the plate. Her 3rd time aboard, and it comes with 1 down in the 6th.
Well, look, if you're Oklahoma State, especially with the top of your order coming up, you have to find a way to push across the run here. Another good piece of hitting by Claire Tim, just staying down on that drop ball, driving it the opposite way. That is the best swing and best hit off of Alyssa Parker since she's come in.
Claire Tim has reached base safely in 20 straight games. Has really found her stride, though, especially over the last month of the season. One of Carly Godwin's 4 homers came earlier tonight.
And that home run that she hit was a ball that was basically at her eyes, a rise ball that she sent over the left field wall. She's not going to see up in the zone like that going up against Parker, so she's going to have to adjust to more down and off speed.
Off speed, gets past the diving third baseman, and Garcia's throw pulls Agbayani off the bag. Rare miscue by Gabby Garcia. This middle infield for Oklahoma, Garcia and Agbayani have combined for just 8 errors this year. But that miscue makes it 2 on and 1 out for the middle of this Oklahoma State lineup. Meanwhile, Amanda Scarborough is thrilled about this. WrestleMania 42 is Saturday and Sunday in Las Vegas, highlighted by the WWE's biggest stars. Coverage begins at 6 Eastern on ESPN2, Saturday and Sunday on ESPN.
And this timeout looks like Coach Rocha wants to talk to her battery. Patty Gasso wants to talk to her defense. Just get a really good grip on the middle of the order here for Oklahoma State, knowing that it's a one-run game. Patty Gasso talking to her defense about what to expect and to get them in the right mindset to make a play, as they've looked a little bit on their heels defensively, especially up the middle of the field, just so uncharacteristic.
And yet this game is still very much in reach for Oklahoma. When they haven't necessarily looked themselves tonight, Patty Gasso told us very candidly when we interviewed her in the 4th inning that she felt like her team wasn't taking advantage of the opportunities in front of them tonight. Maybe a little bit passive. Maybe it's the hangover from the Texas series. Maybe looking ahead to Arkansas this weekend. But they've gotten a great fight tonight from the team across the diamond in Oklahoma State. Kenny Gajewski told us, I don't know how we're going to win this game, but I can tell you this, you're going to get a lot of fight from the Cowgirls, and we have seen that tonight. Rosie Davis cue balls it to third for the second out of the inning. Two on, 2 out for Lexi McDonald. Has twice reached tonight, including a double. Later coming around to score. Oklahoma State has scored in 4 consecutive innings. They have kept the pressure on Oklahoma. One of the top offenses in the country, if not the best.
Well, now Lexi McDonald stepping in the box. Small town Oklahoma kid. You know, a game like this means something extra to her. And a really cool story of just working her way into the lineup. Had a pretty good fall and then got back from winter break and just was pressing a little bit. She was trying to have perfect at-bats. Wasn't necessarily an everyday starter until recently, and worked her way into the lineup, took advantage of opportunities.
Somebody too that had tasted being a starter. Started 32 games for the Cowgirls in 2024. Helped them reach the Women's College World Series right here at Devon Park. Check swing on the appeal to third. Did not go around, and the count is full. Kenny Gajewski told us she represents the Cowgirl way in everything she does. Here's another look.
It's a great call by the umpire down the line.
Payoff pitch. Stayed back on it, drives it into center. It will score another. And the Cowgirls continue to apply pressure in the 6th. A 2-out RBI single for Lexi McDonald.
Oklahoma State has been so good with 2 outs, and McDonald, her at-bats have been phenomenal lately. Sits back on a changeup in a full count. She picked it up out of the hand. Her bottom half was saying go, then it held back. Her hand stayed back and able to drive it right past Garcia up the middle of the field. What an at-bat from this small-town Oklahoma kid to give Oklahoma State now a 2-run lead.
Kenny Gajewski down the third base line, potentially making a change here with home plate umpire Cameron Ellison. We've seen Hassler strike out twice, also reached on a fielder's choice in which she attempted a sac bunt. But she does have home run power that can change the dynamic of a game with one swing of the bat. Oh, 2.
Oklahoma State's at-bats have just been so good, no matter what pitcher has been in the circle for Oklahoma. The way they've battled with 2 strikes, making these Oklahoma pitchers go to different pitches, deeper into counts.
Hassler to third, gloved by Barker. She will tag the bag. But for the 5th consecutive inning, Oklahoma State has scored. Kendall Wells will come to the plate as we go to the 7th. Oklahoma trailing by 2.
When you watch this Ruby Malin strikeout package, you can tell how she has adjusted her game as the game has gone on. She started trying to expand the zone with her rise ball, getting Oklahoma's hitters to chase and working away from them. But then as the game has gone on, she has worked lower in the zone and also not been scared to go inside to the left-handed hitters. So rise early and then a little bit more drop late as she now is going up against these Oklahoma hitters 4 times through the lineup, which is so tough to do. And will face Ella Parker first to lead off this top of the 7th inning, who she has struck out 3 times, 3 of the 8 coming against Parker.
She had to be dynamite tonight for Oklahoma State to have a chance against the #1 team in the country. She has been, as advertised, the 2-time All-American. Has given Oklahoma State every opportunity to win this game. They're now 3 outs away. And each night her number has been called. She has delivered. In fact, she has been the pitcher of record in each of the last 13 Oklahoma State victories. 1-2 to Parker.
I don't know what it is about when she faces Parker. I just feel like her ball is moving a little extra when she's faced her. And you'd much rather go at Parker, try to get her out, especially with the 3 strikeouts against you, than have to face Wells with a runner on and a chance to tie it.
Ahead in the count, 1-2. Wells, of course, hit a 2-run bomb off Malin in the 3rd. A nuke. In the words of Kenny Gajewski, she awaits on deck. McDonald puts out the first out of the inning.
And this shift pays off. To not have to face Kendall Wells with a runner on is a huge sigh of relief for Ruby Malin, Kenny Gajewski, and an Oklahoma State fan, because when she came up in the 3rd inning, she took Ruby Malin deep, a line drive over the right field wall. It gave Oklahoma the lead for the first time in this game. They answered back, and now a solo home run still keeps Oklahoma State the lead. And not that you ever feel comfortable throwing against her, but you much rather throw against her with nobody on.
"32 of Wells' 51 hits are home runs this year. Has already broken 2 major records, both in the SEC and within the OU program, and yet plays with a freeness that permeates the rest of the team. Can she start the rally here in the top of the 7th with 1 down in a 2-run deficit? How do you pitch her behind in the count, rather, 2-1 here?
I'd still try to work her on that low and outside corner with Ruby Malin's drop ball. Maybe try to sneak in a changeup. And ends up going to the rise ball. But Kendall Wells has chased that pitch a little bit tonight against Ruby Malin, but has settled in her later at bats and let that pitch go, as a lot of the Oklahoma hitters have.
Gabby Garcia, a major power hitter in the 4 spot, awaits on deck. Hitters count. Should Wells reach, Garcia, who has hit 18 homers, could have a chance to tie it with 1 swing. Payoff.
It's a great location. Decided to go in, and when you go in against Wells, you have to go hard in. You cannot miss a ball on the plate. Ruby Malin goes to that drop ball. It's right at the height that it needs to be, about a ball off the plate, and just ties up Kendall Wells, her hands, where she's just able to foul that off, get rid of it to extend her at bats. So just a great piece of hitting with 2 strikes by Wells, a good location by Malin.
2-time senior All-American versus freshman superstar. Malin wins this battle. 9th strikeout of the night. And the Sooners are down to their final out.
Went down to the zone with her drop ball and a full count. Kendall Wells got rid of this pitch, and then Ruby Malin, relying on this rise ball all night long, goes back to it in a full count. It would have been ball 4, but it's enticing enough to get Kendall Wells to chase that pitch. What a massive strikeout for out number 2, to now even have to face another home run hitter in Gabby Garcia with nobody on.
The last time Oklahoma State beat a #1 ranked team was in 2022 on this field, defeating then #1 Oklahoma for the program's first Big 12 tournament championship. 0-1 count to Gabby Garcia. Few gave the Pokes a fighting chance in this game tonight. The way that Oklahoma has swung the bat, with as deep as their pitching has been this year, leading a very difficult SEC. It's Jones, and Oklahoma State has upset #1, winning the 180th Bedlam game in OKC.
What a victory for Ruby Malin, having an opportunity of playing from ahead in the same matchup last year where she got the start and was cruising and Oklahoma State was ahead, and then the game got away from Ruby Malin. The game got away from Oklahoma State. You can just see the relief with her arms above her head, hugging her coaching staff, knowing the comeback. It's the story in a rivalry game against the #1 team, your arch nemesis that you know you had regrets about this time last year, and this time throws a complete game. Her defense wasn't perfect behind her. She fought the entire game, including in that first inning. What a moment for Oklahoma State, and specifically for Ruby Malin, to come out here as a senior and get the win against Oklahoma. You know that feels so good.
That smile, that moment, something she'll never forget. First top 5 win for this program in over a calendar year, a resume builder. And now both programs will turn their attention back to conference play with May right around the corner. For Amanda Scarborough, our entire ESPN crew, Matt Schumacher saying good night from Devon Park, where Oklahoma State shocks #1 Oklahoma.